Welcome to Ryan's Running Reviews in partnership with Roadrunner Sports, and today we're taking a look at the completely redesigned Rebel V4 from New Balance, and honestly, this may be my new favorite non-plated daily trainer. Let's run with it. Before we get started, I do want to say these shoes were provided to me by Roadrunner Sports. However, no one had a chance to preview this video, and this file synopsis is my own. I'd also like to say please leave a like on the video and consider subscribing. Here we go. The Rebel V4 is totally new from heel to toe. Now this is New Balance's moderately cushioned, lightweight, fast-paced, neutral daily trainer design for those medium to shorter distance efforts. Yes, you can take it on a longer run, but I do think there will be some runners who will be wanting a little bit more cushion underfoot when you get into some of those longer miles. Now, with that being said, I think this punches well above its stack height, but for New Balance, like I mentioned before, this is kind of their faster, medium to shorter distance shoe. The Rebel V4 costs $140 and only weighs 7.5 ounces for a US men's size 9, which is crazy light. And to put that into perspective, most other neutral daily trainers weigh anywhere between 9 to 11 ounces. For the stack height, we have 32 in the heel and 26 in the forefoot, giving us a 6mm heel to toe drop. Of course, the star of the show is the midsole. Yes, it's still technically fuel cell foam. However, New Balance has so many different iterations and versions of fuel cell foam, and this version has been reformulated and redesigned. It's now a mix of PIBA and EVA, creating an insanely light, bouncy, and just fun midsole experience. Even though the Rebel V4 only has 32mm of stack height, it feels much greater than that, mainly because of the level of cushioning that this midsole provides. It is insanely soft, yet I was not able to bottom it out. It did not feel sluggish whatsoever, and you can easily pick up the pace with this shoe, which is pretty much what it's designed to do. Yet when you slow it down, I thought my slower efforts were incredibly comfortable. I'll also say that this is a fairly flexible shoe. The one thing that does give you some rigidity is the fact that you have full rubber across the forefoot with no flex grooves. And then if you're someone who needs some stability, I might go in a different direction. This is by no means the most unstable or squirrely shoe out there, but the fact that you have this super soft foam and the midsole is so flexible may be an issue for runners that need some extra support and guidance. Moving on to the outsole, I'm surprised to see and very happy to see we have a substantial amount of decently thick rubber coverage, especially in the forefoot, considering the shoe is so light. And then you also have a really wide platform, which does help kind of contain and stabilize that really soft and bouncy fuel cell foam. I was pleasantly surprised by the upper. New Balance calls it FantomFit. It's an engineered mesh that's practically see-through, making the breathability a 10 out of 10. Now, as far as the fit and sizing goes, I thought it was true to size with plenty of room in the toe box and midfoot. So if you have a higher volume foot, I think you will like this upper. It's quite funny because if you look at like the 1080 or the 880, those uppers are rather narrow, especially in the toe box. And then you come to like the Rebel and some of the other fuel cell shoes, and then you have plenty of room in the upper. So New Balance, a little bit inconsistent with their uppers, but for the Rebel V4, plenty of room here, and I'm quite happy with that because I like some room for my toes to splay out. There is a midfoot cage, kind of a piece of synthetic orange material fused directly to that very thin mesh to help give you some extra structure to the upper itself, which is somewhat needed as there is a lot of volume here, like I mentioned before. The tongue is paper thin, it's gusseted as well, and in my personal preference, I do wish the tongue maybe had just a little bit more padding or some small foam blocks. If you move towards the back of the shoe, the ankle and Achilles section is lightly padded, and the heel counter itself is moderately stiff. I thought the lockdown was solid. If you have a more narrow foot, you may have some issues, but for me, I was quite happy with the fit and feel of this Rebel V4 upper. So overall, the Rebel V4 is one of my new favorite non-plated daily trainers. It's insanely light at 7.5 ounces, yet I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything to have such a light shoe. And I think a big reason for that is this fuel cell midsole, which again is a blend of PIBA and EVA. It's rather soft and bouncy. I wasn't able to bottom it out. Works really well when you want to pick up the pace, yet it's very comfortable when you need to slow it down. It's not overly soft. You don't feel like it becomes sluggish at all. It just does a decent job. And then the upper, plenty of room in the toe box, very breathable. I really like what they're doing here. Minor complaints are I wish there was a pull tab at the back. Maybe the tongue could have a little bit more padding, but we also have plenty of rubber on the outsole, which is quite nice for this being such a lightweight shoe. The only thing I'll say on top of all of that is if you're someone who needs a little bit of stability and guidance, this might not be your best option, and this might not be ideal for those super long or longer runs. This is kind of a medium to shorter distance run shoe. So let me know down in the comments what you think of this updated Rebel V4. Are you a fan of Fuel Cell, or do you prefer New Balance's Fresh Foam X? I would love to hear from you. Well, I'm Ryan from Ryan's Running Reviews, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.